IVM.
You're listening to Wordy, Wordpecker, Extraordinary Stories of Ordinary Words with Rachel Lopez. You know, I only hear this word once a year, at a very specific time, when people are thinking with their noses and with their hearts, not with their heads. It's the time when the rains are just around the corner. It's when you can smell the wet earth. You know the word I'm talking about, but you're probably saying it wrong. It's Petrichor, not Petrichor. Petrichor. Petrichor comes from two Greek words, Petra, which means stone, and ichor, which is the Greek word for the blood that flows from the veins of the gods, which basically means that Petrichor is Greek for stone blood. So you think the Greeks would have invented it, right? Well, they didn't. Petrichor is a much more recent word. It was coined in 1964 in Australia, of all places. So two researchers came up with the name to describe what happens when clay-based soil and rocks start to do really strange things in the presence of moisture. They did a lot of research. Their studies showed that when mud gets wet after a very long dry spell, like after a summer when there's just no water left in the stones, and there's moisture in the air all of a sudden, the oil in the clay and a kind of bacteria get together and get released into the air. That's what we smell. That is petrichor. But why would rocks do that in the first place, right? So the researchers did some more research. They found that the oil is connected to plant growth. It means that when plants have no other competition, or when plants have no other sustenance, and they must compete with each other to grow, and suddenly there's like moisture and there's like the sense of rain coming, they start to release all of this stuff into the air to say, hey, listen, we're plants, we need some good stuff. We're very happy, I suppose. And that same smell that makes the plants happy makes the humans happy too. Early humans probably adapted to smell petrichor in the air and to like it because the oncoming of a monsoon or a rain means, okay, there's harvest, there's going to be greenery, a good time is coming. And I suppose even now, very, very modern humans like you and me tend to like the smell as well. I mean, everyone loves the smell of petrichor. Something's wrong with you if you don't like it, you know. It really makes you feel good. If you love the rains, there's another term that you might like, monsoon. It's a word that has such a long traveled history. It's got lots of stamps on its passport. It's traveled halfway across the world. Monsoon comes from the Arabic word mosam, from where the Hindi word mosam also comes. It's basically their word for season or a time to do something. There's a mosam for a pilgrimage, there's a mosam for a harvest, there's a mosam to feel happy. And, well, the Hindi word is more or less the same thing, but we mean it as the seasons of nature. So now the Portuguese took this word mosam and they changed it a bit. They changed it to monsão, okay? And they used it to describe sea winds. And the Dutch took it from them and they changed it to monsen because they were doing a whole bunch of like sea trading and seafaring. They needed all these words. So they used monsen to refer to sea breezes from the Indian Ocean. India's own monsoon is pretty damn old as well. It's when the continent of Africa broke. It sort of, just sort of snapped like a biscuit. And a little bit of it flowed northwards towards Asia. If you're interested in biscuits, I have a whole podcast about the origins of the word biscuit as well. But coming back to this, when a little bit of Africa broke and flowed northwards towards Asia, it sort of crashed into the Asian plate, causing all sorts of mayhem. It created the Tibetan Plateau, it created the Himalayas, but it also created this really cool pressure zone, which allows India to have such dramatic monsoons themselves. And that's why we have the kinds of heavy rains that we do, the kind of monsoon season that we do, and that's why we have petrichor and we love it so much. This was Wordy Wordpecker. If you liked this show, you can listen to other fantastic podcasts on the IVM Podcast app and on our website, ivmpodcasts.com, or wherever you get your podcast from. Don't forget to follow IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. And you can reach out to me on Twitter at Greater Bombay and hit me up with your favorite words.
Every week comes a show where three people come together to tell you about stuff they like. A movie, a TV show, a book, and other stuff. Tune in every Monday on the IVM Podcast app to Batman approves this message. Thank you, Batman.
Give me a word. या कोई भी लाइन. कुछ भी हो सकता है यार. क्या कहा आपने? टोपी. Okay. Mohan Joshi hated wearing topis. He felt suffocated in them. टोपी पहनते ही उसे स्कूल की याद आती थी. Where of course he had no choice but to wear a टोपी. But जिस दिन पास आउट हुआ, उसी दिन उसने अपनी टोपी का bonfire बना दिया. And since then, he'd never worn a cap or a hat. ना कड़कती धूप में, and not even to बचो from the ठंडी. But from Monday 26th February, Mohan Joshi had to wear a topi all the time. Why? Because if he didn't, everyone around him knew exactly what क्या सोच रहा था. They knew that he was wondering how the girl in the yellow churidar would look बिना कपड़े के. They knew when he was calling the boss a सड़ेला टमाटर. They knew everything. पर ये सब हुआ कैसे? अरे भाई, यही तो स्टोरी है. और ये स्टोरी आप ही ने मुझे दिया by giving me the starting word. यही तो है The Croc's Tales. Words आपके, कहानी आपके लिए. Catch the stories on Monday and Thursday on the IVM website, app, and anywhere you get your podcast from. See you soon.